Good morning. Welcome to Investigator News, and this is the Morning Weather Show. And it's Friday. This week is the first week of fall, y'all. I've been hearing that one. Is there a reason for what Godzilla in the windows? Oh boy, that's a good one. I had to run that title because I would have been freaking out myself. Godzilla's on my window. I don't. That's why I don't live in Florida. That's why I don't live in Louisiana. I live up in Arkansas where it's safe. Uh, we don't have critters like that. We get possums and raccoons, but we don't get Godzilla. Uh, Boy, I tell you, people that let their pets go, that, they think they could do it and they just can't. Find a good home or hand it over to animal control. If you don't want to be caught, leave it in a box and leave it on the doorstep and leave. So don't turn it loose in Florida. So, uh, wow, we have lots of earthquake news, a lot of hurricane news, a lot of hurricanes. There's one heading towards Florida as we speak. And it's still the tropical storm. They haven't named it yet. So it's still an invest, number 2000. So I'm going to get on with the weather. How's William this morning? You bright-eyed and no, um, it's not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I don't know. Are you wide awake and have coffee? There you go. Is the grounds perked well? There you go. So anyway, we're going to get to the weather, and it's overcast and cloudy here this morning. And I look, and there's nothing on radar. I guess we just have a cloudy day. I slept for a day. I think I did yesterday too. I slept on and off. I kept having worried I wouldn't have the show for tonight all put in place. So, all right, let's get into Miss Davis and in our weather. And there's not very much rain, but the weather is cooling off, and we're moving into fall now. All right, you guys ready for Halloween yet? I am. I think Halloween, or the closer it gets to October, the more I think of Halloween and eggnog. So
Well,
I'm.
not only is it Friday, but it's the first full day of fall, and temperatures across the country are reflecting it, starting with the Northeast, and it will be a little nippy today in the air. Temperatures in the 50s, and also right along the coast. Watch out, you'll have some gusty winds in your forecast. Now, for the Midwest, take a look at those temperatures 50s and 60s. Minneapolis, Des Moines, you'll see a little bit of rain in your forecast. Down to the south, even, those cooler temperatures have moved in and out to the west also. So we're seeing 80s showing up along the coast and also not a whole lot of rain. So this will be your first day where the Rockies, you're not seeing that heavy rain. Now, temperatures trend a little bit warmer as we go into the weekend. So on Saturday, you can see those temperatures climbing, especially in Phoenix, 102 for your high. Down to the south, same story. Pretty much everywhere, those temperatures are going to start to get warmer. So we'll see it in the Midwest as well and to the Northeast. But really, for most of you, the weekend is looking fabulous.
Oh, I could say no, we don't want no more hot weather. And they got that little spot over Arkansas, and I had to go look to see what it was, and it's hot. Well, we're never done until close to Halloween, and then we start cooling off. So, um, wow, lots of nice fall weather is heading our way. Except Phoenix is 99 today. They're going to be nice and hot. So the tropical depression 9 forms in the Caribbean. Florida hurricane threat possible. So let me get this
Tropical depression
going.
number 9 has one.
I didn't have it all set up yet. Okay, here we go. See, I have to do all this stuff by myself, folks. I don't have someone here to run all my videos and all the stuff I need. I do all this by myself. So I've got like four hands, and then I use my big toe for some of the stuff. Huh, William? You've seen my big toe up here. I know you have. We do shows, and boy, I have to use both hands and a foot. So, all right, wake up, William. Oh boy, I have I have company. There is a kitty cat that's peeking at me through my window. It stands up and then it lowers down and it peeks at me. So yeah, kitty cat on the window ledge this morning. I thought it was a squirrel because usually the squirrels get up there, but no, it's kitty cat this morning. So I guess the kitty cat's here to watch the show. Wants to know about Godzilla on the window. Yeah, it's peeking at me. So um, that's odd. Okay, let's get into the hurricanes. You guys don't want to hear about the cat that's on my window ledge watching me. So here we go.
Tropical depression number 9 has formed in the central Caribbean, and now the U.S. needs to pay close attention to this storm, and namely Florida. The forecast is pointing this storm right to the west coast of Florida by next week. Early to mid next week, we could see the impacts from this storm. Conditions are favorable for development through the weekend, so we could see an increase in strength. We have lots of warm water ahead of this system, along with low wind shear, and both of those will aid to the strengthening of this system. So this is something not just the west coast of Florida needs to watch, but all interests along the Gulf. The forecast could still change. Now here's a look at the rainfall that is expected with this system through the Caribbean this weekend and potentially for Florida next week.
So I know what the cat was on the window sill for. It caught a mouse in my front yard. Okay. Oh boy, excitement in Ellie's front yard this morning. But yeah, it jumped down and I seen it run and it had a mouse in its mouth. Poor little Mickey Mouse. Uh, Poor Mickey Mouse. It didn't even get Mickey Mouse don't even get a break in Disneyland. Now it comes Mickey Mouse runs across my yard, the cat gets it. Don't tell the kids. I say that, and my kids go absolutely bonkers over this. Earthquakes, oh boy, folks. Um, Everything is kind of filling in, like I've been saying, in between all the spots from yesterday. So you can see there's an increase. There's 42 earthquakes that happened. Um, so I'm going to start with over in Tonga, Hivlo, Tonga, 5.2, because it looks like about the biggest. And then as we circle around, Papua New Guinea got one at 5.4. Over in Myanmar, they got one of 4.3. They're all back into fours again. So I'm thinking the last 6.0 that we got is basically stop the cycle of six to sevens. And I think the 7.8 was the big one. And now we're back into the fours. So it's all everybody's like, oh, that's boring. We don't want to hear about that. Well, I got some news though. Um, so as we look over in Sumatra, Indonesia, that was a 4.7. Into Japan, Inashiki, Japan at 4.7. And then Kurilisk, Russia, which we get them there a lot. That's a 4.6. We got a more in Alaska today than we did yesterday. And we got two that's on the fault line. Akutan, Alaska, 3.5. Another one, Kuk, Alaska, 3.5. The rest of them are twos. We got one up around Forks, Washington, a 3.5. Did you feel that one, William? You sure that's not what the jolt that woke you up this morning? So then we got Anderson Springs, California. That was a 3.3, and just above it was in Rancho Tehama, Tehama Reserve. I'm used to Tehima, but this is Tehama Reserve, and that was a 2.9. Then we go down into Primo Tapia, Mexico, a 2.5. Now it's got real quiet. Now Guatemala not only did we had Guatemala, no, it was El Salvador. Guatemala, Champirico, a 4.4, and I've heard there's a lot smaller ones. I bet your dog felt it though. I bet she felt it. I was wondering if you were shaking the bed or not. All right. So, uh, Barica, Panama, 4.6, and over to um, Guanica, Puerto Rico, a 2.5. Now, that's the only one there. So, really, the islands got really quiet today. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Pedro at Cama, Chile, 4.5. And Peru got one for 4.5. Over around Italy, Bedone, Italy, a 4.6. Now, I got a message from Dutch Sense this morning, or I got the link for him for, I thought it was a live show. And it was just a warning for Italy that something could be rumbling later, maybe today or the next few days in Italy. So it's something we're going to have to watch out for. Param, Afghanistan got a 4.4. So that is it. I think there was a little bit more than this when I first got up this morning, but it seems to everything is just kind of filling in, everything sticking to the ring of fire is the way it looks on my map. The other ones are kind of far and few between, like over in Italy and the one over in um, Afghanistan. But for the most part, everything is running on the ring of fire. Let me make sure there's nothing below. Okay. Oh, here we go. See, thank goodness I went and looked. This one here, a long year bin, Svalbard. This is way up there. That was a 4.6. So it's way above Iceland, almost to the top of where Greenland would be. That's odd. That's definitely an odd one. I'm glad I went and looked. Let me see if there's anything. No, don't let me go up higher. So, dadgummit. All right, so that's your earthquakes, except now the earthquake in Mexico creates desert tsunami 1,500 miles away in Death Valley National Park. And I had to look at this. It rattled Mexico and sent shockwave that triggered a desert tsunami in a cave system. The quake rocked Mexico's central Pacific coast, killing at least one person about 22 minutes after the quake. The tremors caused 4-foot high waves in Slosh Devil's Hole National Park, it says. Devil's Hole is partially water filled limestone cave in Nye County, Nevada, and is hundreds of feet deep. And it is the home of an endangered Devil's Hole pupfish, which depend on algae that grow on the shallow sunlit shelf as a food source. And officials describe surprising quirk of geology as a desert tsunami, but it's properly known as a seiche or seiche. It's standing a wave in an enclosed body of water. The wave stirred the rocks and sediment on the shallow shelf and removed most of the algae growth, limiting the amount of food available for the pupfish. Save the pupfish. Oh boy. No earthquakes. They're not allowed because they'll kill off the pupfish. That's what the liberals would say. The pupfish have survived several of these events in recent years. National Park aquatic ecologist, we didn't find any dead fish after the waves have stopped. And officials say the devil hole pupfish population has been steadily growing. 175 fish living in the devil's hole compared to just 35 9 years ago. Uh, so it says this is, it was not immediately clear whether Devil's Hole experienced the same phenomenon. It doesn't really show much. Um, and it's kind of too small of a picture. So I guess I could show you guys. It's not, you can't really tell. There's a guy down in the center of it. Um, you could see the wave that it caused. I think it goes as a progression, and then the earthquake caused the water or wave at the very last picture. So, boy, I didn't know nothing about that. That's a new one with me. Usually I learn that stuff from a Dutch sense. Now, another thing that's concerning was a violent super volcano appears to be rumbling back to life. And the super volcano has its alert increased to the wake of 700 earthquakes occurring nearby. Now, now I want you to listen to this because this is what I've been telling you about Yellowstone. The alert level increased the wake of 700 earthquakes occurring. Tapu volcano, which is a super volcano under New Zealand's largest lake, um, has had a volcanic level alert increasing from 0 to 1. And the level 1 indicates minor volcanic unrest. Now, this sits within the New Zealand, okay, North Island, approximately 6 miles above the magna chamber. Now, this is New Zealand, folks, but the same thing is happening, and it's almost straight across over to uh, Yellowstone, and they're having just as many. They have it's just packed. I'll show you the earthquake map on it here in a second. So the volcano has erupted 25 times in the last 12,000 years. Almost recently, 200 recently. Oh boy, uh, 232 AD, and the most violent eruption on Earth in the past 5,000 years. So, um, this is a super volcano in New Zealand now that's rumbling. So, and we don't see them in New Zealand or Australia very often. So, what I wanted to definitely show you is this earthquake map, and I can't get it any bigger. I tried this morning. So let me show you. All of those spots, this is real close to, here's Salt Lake City, um, down here, if you can see my cursor. Then up here is all around Yellowstone. And you could see there's reds, there's oranges. And what the oranges and yellows mean is that a severe quake or a bigger one. And so we were seeing there was a 4.4 that hit it. So they stretch all around the northern part of the mountains of where they say there's a volcano up there. And then if you move over to the range, it says, then you have a big cluster of them. And then as you go down towards Salt Lake City, let's see if I can move this up. You go down to here's Salt Lake City right here. I'm trying to move this so you could. I know it's small. Dutchson's complains about that too. And then you see it all going down, almost following the ridge of the mountains. And these are all earthquakes. Now, mind you, I read earthquakes every day to you guys, and we never hear of these. Um, and these are, like I said, these are all individual earthquakes, and these happen every day. Sometimes there's more, and sometimes there's less. So, and why doesn't USGS at least put these down? I mean, they're tiny. We have, let's see, I know the biggest one was a 4.4. And yeah, and that was yesterday. They had a 4.4. Most of them are ones and twos. Um, so there's quite a bit. I mean, I'm going through this list, and you guys can see all the earthquakes. And get this, this is all for yesterday. All these listed that I'm going and going and going and going. These are all for yesterday that happened at Yellowstone. And I'm going to go back up again. So here's the start, and there's one for 2.4 today, starting off the big one. So I'm going to go down and show you. These are all pretty much, we get into last week a little bit as I go down further. But it goes back to the 18th. So all of these have happened that we don't hear about through USGS. And that's what concerns me, because we just never hear about it. So there you have it. I told you I'd bring up Yosemite for you guys to show you. There is a lot that hits there every day, and they're just never recorded. And even when I pull up my globe of Susan and Karen have seen, and quite a few of you have been in here when I pulled it up, you don't see those earthquakes on the map. Even when I put it down to, I could register them as low as 1, they don't show up. So obviously, USGS is hiding these earthquakes for some reason. And Dutchson says the same thing. And I'm like him. I don't understand why they don't list them, except for the fact I guess it would freak everyone out because it's Yellowstone and the super volcano. But then look, New Zealand, is so if New Zealand is rumbling, are we going to see some rumbling out of this 4? And anything over a 2 will get the lava bubbling, they say. So, all right. So I'm going to move on. And no power, no phone. Well, who did that? Did the baby get you? The baby turned you in to the electric company, maybe. All right. El Salvador landslide kills at least 7 following 4 days of rain. And, I didn't hear about this either. And 7 people were killed in landslides in El Salvador following 4 days of heavy rain. 2 people died in Panchimico, Chimalico. That's 11 miles south of the capital city. And they say that a lot of this, it was people that had lived up towards the mountains, and many houses even slid. And they declared an alert in 29 coastal cities in the Department of San Miguel, east of the county. And they say told residents to heed calls to evacuate if told to. So they're on an alert at this point. Well, I know you guys want to hear about this. Godzilla on the window. Okay, so a giant lizard scales a Florida homeowner's family window. And when the lady basically started getting pictures of it, she was saying this lizard is described as Godzilla. And it's recently visited a home in Florida, and it was caught on video climbing up the window. But this is Godzilla has been hitting neighbors up, going neighbor to neighbor. I think he's hungry. Someone feed Godzilla. Um, and it appeared to be a savanna monitor lizard, and it was taken from inside the home of Apopka, a city outside Orlando. And so Jocelyn Pinson is the one that took the pictures. And she said, "Oh my God, look at this." And she said this uninvited guest popped up at her son's home. Needless to say, I won't be visiting him anytime soon. It looks like Godzilla to her, she said. And of course, she was yelling, Godzilla's on the window. And so her son took a look, and he mentioned it had been plaguing their neighborhood. And so she said, these lizards are native to Africa. So whoever brought this over brought it from Africa. So you guys got to see this. Let's see if I can get good pictures. No, it's not letting me have the video. The video's blocked. Somebody must have got in trouble for it. Okay. All right. Well, why isn't this not going down? There we go. All right. So here is Godzilla. And this is with the New York Post this morning. So there he is. See, he's peeking. He's waving. He's got his little feet on the window saying, "Let me in, feed me, Seymour." Yeah. So there he is. I'm wondering if I can get the video to play. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna try it. No, it's just not. It's error on it. So yeah, so he's probably, I'm gonna say, a good 3 foot long, just his body. But like I would say, yikes, Godzilla on my window. So so she's not going to visit her son very often, I have a feeling, until they catch this guy. So good morning to Mary and Karen. So yeah, Godzilla on the window. So let's listen to something else. This guy here, um, this man rescued a donkey. And how did he do it? Well, the he was singing, and it was at an Ohio sanctuary for rescued donkeys, and it's went viral. The man could be seen hugging the donkey by its neck and singing a very popular Christian hymn. The song has its roots as a hymnal written by John Newton and has touched and changed the lives of many. And the donkey, in manner, redeemed by the owner from its usually hard life and burdened, and now he has a new life. He was welcomed with a life of freedom, they say. And so the Christian hymn, like no other, they said, uh, basically calms this donkey down. So you guys wondering what the song is? It's Amazing Grace. So this man, when he gets upset, he goes and he serenades, they say, to the donkey and sings Amazing Grace. And he calms down. So you guys got to see this picture of this. And there he is hugging the donkey as he serenades and sings to him. So, yeah, stranger things. Well, they say music tames the wild beasts. So I think, and that's what it is. Now let's see if we can get away with this one, okay? All right. Amazing grace, how sweet thou art. Save a wretch like me. Okay, I can't play too much of it because it's YouTube. And you see the other one kind of come up and was kind of like almost nuzzling with him. So, yeah, the donkeys like, I think, Christian music. So, all right, I'll get rid of that. All right, so California, what's next with California? Well, they're we always talk about watch what your dogs and your cats get a hold of, especially the cat that got the mouse this morning out there. And they say it's not, it could be very funny, but it's also frightening. And this is a list that they had vets from all over California say what they're finding. And they said this is, it's very expensive to remove these things, but it's amazing the things that dogs swallow. And they said, so here's some of the things that a California vet basically said the dog had swallowed. Well, one was 4 tennis balls at one time, an earplug, a finger puppet with "Help Me" on it, and it had eyes that appeared on the X-rays. Plumber's tape, pink glittery underwear, assorted garbage, peach pits, entire bottle of Gorilla Glue, um, entire boot, um, and diapers, soap, a 2.5-inch long fish hook, a squid and accompanying of that fish hook, and 5 tampons. So they say these are a collection from Labrador Retrievers, Boxers, West Highland Terriers, and Maltipoos, and 1 cat. So not only that, they say the number one item that is pulled usually out of dogs' stomachs is rocks. And they could get up to the size of a tennis ball, even a grapefruit. I want to know who swallows a rock as big as a grapefruit. That must have been a big dog. That must have been like a Great Dane or something, or one of the Mastiffs. So they said they put this list out in California to other vets to put on their walls to remind people to watch what their dogs eat. So there you have it. Boy, we're down to, I'm ahead of myself today because we're already to the funny list. And these are housekeeping tips. And they said, tomorrow I'll do my housework, no excuses, unless they're good ones. So this sounds like me. If any of these are good excuses, I'm going to use them. Well, except for a few. So, um, so here it goes. Uh, it is time to clean out the fridge when something closes the door from the inside. Yeah, boy, that sounds like monitor lizard got in the fridge. Um, okay, if it walks out of your fridge, let it go. The best mini vac for an after meal cleanup is your dog. Uh, don't feed it rocks. Um, keep it clean for healthy. Um, keep it clean enough for healthy, dirty enough for happy. Never make fried chicken in the nude. Um, do not engage in an unharmed combat with the dust bunny big enough to choke the vacuum cleaner. Um, you make the beds, you do the dishes, and 6 months later, you can start all over again. If you guys supposed to, if guys were supposed to hang up clothes, doorknobs would be bigger. Um, my idea of housework is to sweep the room with a glance. Thou shall not weigh more than thy refrigerator. Well, that's a fact, Jack. Boy, all right. Uh, simplify, hire a maid. My second favorite household chore is ironing. My first being hitting my head on the top bunk of the bed till I faint. Ah, well, I don't know about ironing. My mom used to iron. I'm You're a clean freak. You're a clean feek. You clean with your big toe too, huh? I'm not going to vacuum till Sears makes one you can ride on. Amen to that. I want a riding vacuum cleaner. There you go. That's what we need, us women. We got all them yards of carpeting all through the house. Forget the little thing that goes around by itself. If you can get me on a riding vacuum cleaner, I'd buy it. Um, all right. So I'm a marvelous housekeeper. Every time I leave a man, I keep his house. Okay. Cobwebs artfully draped over lampshades reduce the glare from the bulb, thereby creating a romantic atmosphere. And if your husband points out the light fixtures need dusting, simply look um, uh, and exclaim, "What?" and spoil the mood. Oh, there you go. So when writing your name in the dust on the table, omit the date. If dusting is really out of control, simply place a showy urn on the side of the table and said, "This is where Grandma wanted us to scatter her ashes." Oh, I got to do that one just to do that real close to Halloween and creep out my friends. Yeah, I could do that one. So, all right. Now, this one here is into the future, a glimpse into life far, far into the future in the year 2056 or maybe even 2060. All right. Ozone created by electric cars is now killing millions in the seventh largest country of the world, formerly known as California. I like that. Oh boy. So a couple of petitions court to reinstate heterosexual marriage. All right. So if you guys are wondering, this is a glimpse into the far future. All right. Iran still closed off. Physicists estimate it will take at least 10 more years before radioactivity decreases to safe levels to look at it. George Z. Bush says he'll run for president in 2058. I like these ones. All right. Postal Service raises the first class stamp to 1789 and reduces mail delivery to Wednesdays only. Okay. 85-year 75.8 billion study diet and exercise are the key to weight loss. The average weight of Americans drops to 250 pounds. Oh boy, these are good. Japanese scientists created a camera with such a fast shutter speed they now can photograph a woman with her mouth shut. Oh, I'm going to get hate mail for that. Oh boy, I'm tearing on some of these. Okay, Massachusetts executes the last remaining uh, liberal. Liberals are going to hate me now. Not only am I going to have women, I'm going to have liberals basically sending me hate mail. Supreme Court rules punishment of criminals violates their civil rights. The average height of the NBA players is now 9 feet 7 inches. New federal law requires that all nail clippers, screwdrivers, fly swatters, and rolled up newspapers must be registered by January 2057. Congress authorized direct deposit of formerly illegal political contributions to campaign accounts. The IRS sets the lowest tax rate at 75%. The spotted owl plague threatens northwestern United States, the crops and livestock. Babies conceived naturally. Scientists are stumped. Florida voters still don't know how to use the voting machines. That's mean. Okay, folks. So that's it. I hope you got that. Was good. That I have to say that was one of the better lists of the funny lists that I got. So some aren't getting these shows, and I'm thinking you might have to hit the bell here to be able to, I guess, get the shows. I'm not sure why it's going on. So subscribe and hit the bell and hit the like button and share. And over on Facebook, hi to Greg. And Greg, thanks for sharing so many shows. I always say Greg because he shares a lot of shows over there on Facebook. He never talks. He just shares a lot. And of course, we have another show coming up in about 20 minutes. And at least this time I gave myself a little time to have a sip of coffee before I got to throw everything together for the 10 o'clock show. Or 11 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock here. So, and then we have another show tonight. We have Corruption Files tonight. So today I'm going to be busy. So if you guys try to call me, you're not going to get through. I think my phone's hidden somewhere behind the coffee pot in the cookie jar, so I can't hear it because I'm keep picking it up on Fridays and then I get sidetracked. So not that I don't want to hear from you guys. I always want to hear from you, but Fridays are really busy. So subscribe and hit the like button, and over there in Facebook, hit follow and like. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful Friday and get out and enjoy this beautiful fall air, being the first full day of fall today. So with that, you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you in a few minutes or see you tonight. If not, we'll see you tomorrow for trivia. Bye-bye, folks.
Know you've been a good friend, and that's in the thick and thin.